recite one of my poem which I wrote about my grandmother. She is not with me now, but yeah, when I was with her, when whatever the days I have spent with her has been the bestest days of my life. It was 8th September 2016 when I lost her, and this 8th September 2026, it's going to be almost 10 years since she has left me. So this poem I have wrote for her, and I have titled this poem as Grief. You all know what does that mean, grief? We all are carrying so many griefs in our heart. So today I am going to share one of my grief with you all. It goes like this. One of the worst days of my life, or perhaps a day I can never erase from my memories. The grief I carry, one out of all the griefs I have, the heaviest grief is that I carry not being able to see my grandma the day she left me. The day she left me, and before that day, I had a fight with her. And how can you imagine that next day your grandmother died? Before that, you just had a fight with her. I was in 11th grade. I didn't know that the next day I will not be able to see her. But yes, that was the last day I saw, and that too I have the moment where I had a fight with her. So yeah, I carry that grief in my heart that why did I fight with her that day. But yes, as we all know, we don't know what is going to happen next in our life. The grief of having a fight with her a day before her death and never seeing her again. The grief of not being able to say sorry to her. The grief of getting to know that she had passed away. The grief of carrying the ache in my heart from last 10 years. The grief of not having my last happy moments with her. The grief of not having to have the meal she prepared for me. Okay, the day she died, she prepared a meal for me, my favorite food which I like, which was namkeen rice. She prepared it for me on the day of her death, but on the same day she died, so I was not able to have that. So I carry that grief of not having the last meal, and that was the last day. It was my favorite thing because now I hate namkeen rice. The grief of not being able to have the last memory with her. The grief that I carry somewhere in my heart and perhaps will forever carry. The grief not because the grief is dear to my soul, not because the grief is dear to my soul, but because my grandma is my heart and my soul. Though the heart has beautifully learned to carry it, though my heart has beautifully learned to carry the grief, because it is already full of unsaid and unheard grief. Perhaps, out of all the grief of not having her with me, perhaps out of all the griefs of not having her with me, is the heaviest grief of not being able to hear her speak. The heaviest grief is that not being able to hear her speak. The grief of carrying this grief, the grief that has made a home in my heart, the grief that has made a home in my heart from the day she is gone. On 8th September this year, it will almost be 10 years since she left, but she will forever stay in my heart, Thank you so much.